Hey, I'm Alice Grist. I'm a tarot author, a tarot deck creator, and I read tarot. I've been reading tarot cards for 30 years. And one of the things that I am most passionate about when it comes to the tarot is teaching you how to read them for yourself. Because honestly, I can sit and read them for you all day long, but there is nothing more empowering than picking up a deck and beginning to connect to some inner, intuitive, spiritual, divine aspect that's in you. It's not just in me. I think there's these great myths around tarot that it's something occult, that it's something super esoteric, that you have to be born with the power, the skill, the magic, when in fact, all we're doing is learning an ancient way of understanding the world. Before we had language, we understood our existence through what we could see, what we could feel, what we could intuit, the nature around us, the energies that we could shift with and flow with and understand in a much more clear way than perhaps we can, because words have taken over. In the last few millennia, words, language, writing, the spoken verbatim word has all taken over this kind of natural, instinctual way of being. And I think tarot is a really quick hit back into that instinctual way of being. And it's provided via 78 pieces of card with beautiful or, sometimes unsettling or interesting images upon them. So the first thing I do when I'm teaching tarot is I give you permission to be able to interpret them and to help you to recognize that you have that skill within you. This isn't something like spooky that certain people are born with more than anybody else. That, I believe, is a complete untruth, and it adds to that dynamic of this person is more psychic and this person is less psychic, and therefore we have to go and pay them money for them to tell us about ourselves. No, it's time for us to start to learn about ourselves from this internal place. So the cards are actually a really great hop into that. They allow you to start to understand who you are, why you are, where you are going, what is limiting you, where your blocks are at, where your hopes are, how you might start to walk towards those hopes in a really powerful way. They remind you of your own kind of essence, and they do that through the imagery upon the cards. So the second thing, apart from giving you permission to begin to read them and recognizing that practice is all it takes, and beginning to be open to an intuitive feeling experience of the world, is that we begin to also explore this old new language. So many of you who are watching this video will have already had experiences with something other, something out of the ordinary, something that I will call your evidence. So tarot is not just an ancient language that we are revisiting. There's also obviously a spiritual kind of pathway moving all the way through the middle of that. And therefore, you being here would suggest you are open to something more, be that something spiritual, be that God, be that angels, be that guides, or some other psychedelic understanding that you have. And I think whatever your understanding is perfect. And we're not going to question that here. Whatever your understanding of spirituality is perfect for this moment, and it will grow and it will evolve, but we can worry about that some way down the line. Because what we're going to do right now is to just have a little think about, where's your evidence at? What has happened to you in your life? And feel free to share this in the comments below. What has happened to you that has brought you to this place where you want to explore tarot, where you want to touch something beyond the ordinary and the known and move into that unknown space of trying to craft and carve and manifest a life for yourself? So we all have experiences. Some of these experiences might be really simple stuff, like kind of having an intuition about something, a circumstance, a person, something that's coming up, and then being proven right, or not listening to that intuition and wishing that we had. There's other things as well that might act as your personal evidence of this magical, intuitive world. It might be, maybe you've seen a ghost. Maybe you've seen something that cannot be explained in any way, shape, or form. Maybe you've had a spiritual experience after somebody has died and you have experienced their energy or a sign or a symbol from them that was undeniable and quite life-changing. Maybe you've had some coincidences and synchronicities that you simply cannot write off, and maybe you've tried to write them off. Maybe for many years you've written them off and kind of told yourself, oh, that was that was really interesting, but it was nothing, it was a coincidence. Well, we don't believe in coincidences here. We believe that everything is kind of sent to us, and it's to help us form and grow and evolve and become. So when we reflect on a willingness to open to a new language and an intrigue in some spiritual divine circumstance that is happening to us and has happened to us and is working its way through our lives, and then we come to the tarot cards. So all of these big concepts and big themes just make us open to reading them. So if you kind of connected with what I've said already, then you're open to reading them. And the next thing I will definitely say to you is put the books aside. I've written books about tarot, and you can go and, of course, read them and use them as a catalyst, a jumping off point. But one of the most empowering things you can do with a deck of cards in your hands is just start to play with them. And start to pull a card every day from now until infinity, and every day reflect on what that card is telling you, not about the future. When we start trying to tell the future, that's where it can become a little bit tricky and hard to understand or hard to align with. But what does the card visit to you right now? What does it say to you? What is the story on the card that is reflecting something that is true here and now? And this is where the real power of tarot reading lies. It's not trying to look at the future, and it's not trying to make sense of the past, although those things are relevant. But in the beginning of reading tarot, when you're just trying to get to know the cards, ask yourself, what is on this card, what is on this imagery right now that represents something that is true to me in this moment? What do I understand about this picture? What is happening in this picture that is an echo or a reflection or a truth that is being told to me about my life at this moment? And what can it teach me? Where can I go with this? How can I flow with this? And journal on that kind of thing. Think about it. Pull out a card in the morning, stick it on your bedside table, and revisit it at night and think, okay, maybe this card made no sense to me this morning, but as the events of the day have unfolded, it kind of makes sense now, and I can see how this image, this picture, relates to how I have felt today, or what I have seen, or the things I have experienced. And in doing this, you are starting to give yourself permission to connect to those two things that I spoke of. So the mystery, the unknown, the magic that is weaving itself through your day, and also the symbolic language that you have access to, that we all have access to, and that the tarot is one version of. So allowing yourself to kind of combine those two things with this third entity, the reflection, then you start to learn the tarot. And I'm 30 years in, and I've painted tarot decks and I've written tarot books. There's still days when the cards kind of elude me, and I have to sit with them and be patient and remember that I'm not fortune telling for myself. I'm reflecting, I'm growing, and I'm evolving. And that is where the magic lies. So I hope you've enjoyed this video about how to kind of combine some different aspects of our understandings about who we are and where we're going, to start to work with your tarot. And there will be more videos coming along, perhaps some a little bit more practical, a bit more day to day, a bit more let's crack the cards out and see what we can do with them. And if you are loving this approach to tarot, then I do have a tarot month, a whole month of tarot starting in May 2022. So you can sign up to that on my website, which is alicegrist.co.uk. And if you want an easier everyday approach, I highly recommend my book, The Book of Tarot, or indeed for a journaling approach, Dirty and Divine. Thanks for listening. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your evidence. Let me know your experience of the spiritual world in the comments below. Thank you. Bye.